comes from the match between my video lessons group and chess.com and chess.com Español. So here we have a case where snop2000 won both of his games. I thought he played very well. And White is going to show us how not to play correspondence chess. And we'll explain some of these as we go on. Okay, so Black's playing a French defense, and this is all mainline theory. I mean, if you purchase any book on the French defense, you're going to find the analysis to this position. This is the advanced variation, where Black is immediately counterattacking the base of White's pawn chain. The price Black pays for this activity is he has what we call the French bishop. This bishop does not become active, but it's a small price to pay. Black has no weaknesses. And now normal is to play knight c6 first, and it's going to transpose. So he plays queen b6 first. And now knight c6. So again, if you want to get good at correspondence chess and in turn have it help your over the board play, you need to research openings. Okay, it means buy a book. Okay, it means invest in a database like ChessBase. Okay, or if you're cost conscientious, Google free online chess database. There are many of them online. All you need to do is register a username and an email, and you're in like Flint. Okay, so in this position there are two main variations. One is called the Milner-Berry. White, we'll just take a quick look at this. White sets a trap. Okay, I even saw a master who played the French defense fall into this against an international master. Okay, what Black is not winning a pawn because White has a nasty little reply, discovered attack, and the queen is going to be lost. Well, all Black needs to do in this position, and again, we can look this up and find theory. We just, we can take, okay. And now we just stop and play bishop d7. And this takes away the check, so now this is a threat. And usually in this position, White will gambit that pawn for development. White will castle it, and Black will go ahead and take it. And, this is well analyzed, okay. Beyond the scope of this video to go into detail, but one can study this position and do, if you know it like the back of your hand, you do well with White or Black. Now, how do you know it by how we get to know it like the back of your hand? Well, you play correspondence chess and you practice it, and you sit there with a book and you open up and you play through the variations and you read the author's suggestions, and essentially you commit some of the stuff to memory and the ideas, and if when it comes time to play this, hopefully you can remember it all. Okay, but this is, like I say, this is just one line. The safer line is to play bishop e2. That's what White does, and now you see, now this is the target. Cannot be protected by a pawn. So Black wants to bring as many attackers on that as he possibly can, so he plays knight e7. And here's the critical point where, like I said at the beginning, White's going to show us how not to play correspondence chess. White immediately blunders here. Now, we don't know how long White took on this move, but if White opened up a book or a database, he would know the correct move. And we'll show you that in just a moment. But you see, White castles. And he's clearly not paying attention to this position, because if he took 20 seconds on his move, even 5 minutes on his move, he may have missed Black's next move. Black just plays knight f5, and suddenly there's 3 attackers on the pawn on d4. There's only 2 defenders, and White can't get another defender there safely. I mean, he can play bishop e3. Okay, but then he's going to drop his b2 pawn. So here, at move 8, White has a losing game. Now, think about all the games you play. How often are you losing at move 8? And the answer is probably not too often. Yet, here White's found himself in exactly that dilemma. Okay, why? Because he didn't open up a chess book. He didn't investigate, the opening explorer on chess.com. So what should white do? Well, since black has a threat here, the threat is to play knight f5. White needs to get more protection on this square. How's he going to do it? Well, I'll show you the main line, but the main line is to use this knight to protect this pawn. So the main line is knight a3. Now black plays knight f5. This is all theory, and now knight c2. Now here comes a very, very tricky position. All right, black to play. And again, this is all theory. And black has a tricky move up his sleeve, and it's bishop b4 check. And white has to step very carefully. Okay, there's only one move for white here, and that's to play king f1. Okay, we'll come back and talk about king f1 in a moment. But, the rules of chess say you have to get out of check. How are you going to get out of check? Well, moving the king is one alternative. We can block with 3 pieces on d2, right? Or we can capture the bishop. I don't see any other ways to get out of check. Okay, so we'll come back and look at king f1. We can throw away queen d2 because that loses the queen. So knight d2. We just pick up this pawn. Okay, black won a pawn. All right, so knight d2 fails. Bishop d2. Well, now we're cutting off protection of the pawn on d4, and the b2 pawn is exposed. So black can just play bishop takes, and say if queen takes, black just wins a pawn. So clearly we can't block with the bishop or the queen, or the knight. That leaves knight takes. But now we've eliminated one of our defenders of this pawn, and after queen takes, black is going to win a pawn. Bishop d2, we take on d4, and on b2, and d4 is under attack. Okay, so like I said, the only move here is to play king f1. Now theory calls this position unclear. Okay, that's what theory says. There have been countless games played from this position beyond the scope of this video. One can search easily enough on databases for every game that's been played from this position. What should black do here? Well, he can't win the pawn on d4. He might play h5 to anchor this knight into this square. Okay, black might develop a piece, right? He might castle, and I'm sure each of those moves has been tried. And let's say, for instance, on bishop d7, white might go ahead and play g4. Now we don't have protection on h4. A lot of times in this position, the queen is back here, and black is able to play knight g4. But even that, or a knight a4, that might be a blunder with the king on this square, because there comes a fork, forking the queen and the knight. Now a lot of times that bishop g5 is a blunder, because black can take the knight with check, but it's not check here. So this is all theory, and the top masters, that play the French defense or play against the French defense, they're aware of this stuff. They know what to do, how to continue here. Both sides are playing like grandmasters here. Let's see, what have the grandmasters done from this position? This is why we use correspondence chess to learn opening theory. If you treat this like an over-the-board game, number one, you're not going to learn. Number two, you're going to lose a lot of games to a well-prepared player. So, you can really improve with correspondence chess, because the majority of players do not take their time. So let's back this up. So, white blindly castles, and now black's just winning a pawn. And there it is. Black's a pawn ahead. White's losing. Move 9. White's losing. Forking, forcing more trades. So it's just a simple matter of black consolidating his edge, and white becomes very cooperative for the black game here. Okay. Now he unprotects this pawn. See, white's not paying attention. This is not how you play correspondence chess. You don't, you take your time. That's hope. The game is hopeless for white now. And now I might have played king e7 instead of castling. The idea is the king is safe on e7. Maybe there could come some pressure on the E file, where, if these guys clear, this pawn on D5 would not be able to take back. But black has resources. But this is all fine. Castling's fine. Black's 2 pawns up. Black is winning. White has no chance. I mean, I'm going to lose. Anybody playing, if you have black against me here, you're going to beat me. Okay. Now maybe I'll get lucky if you rush, but I certainly don't expect it. And black will defeat Magnus Carlsen in this position. Okay. Magnus might get lucky, but we doubt it. Okay, so now the pieces are coming off the board. The more trades, the simpler it is for black to utilize his 2-pawn advantage. And now he goes after that, gets some more exchanges. And white's just running out of pieces to do anything with. Centralize the king, hold the pawn. Now white's going to outwit himself. See this rook on b4? Let's back this up a second. Where does this rook on b4 have it safe? At this moment, it has b6, d4, f4, and h4. And we could say g4 also. So the rook has, what, 5 open squares to go to? White's going to start taking those squares away from himself. Okay, there goes one of them. And there goes another one. So suddenly this rook is in danger. So black should be easily winning this now with rook d4 takes away the last square that the rook had. And I'm sure white is oblivious to all this. And saves the bishop, and then the king comes up, and lo and behold, there's no defense to rook here. The only possible choice is to play rook b6, but after king c5, this rook is, well, let's see. We're probably going to trap it. I mean, white can give up the exchange at any time, but I think in the long run, let's see, I think that rook is a goner. At least it's buried out of play. How's this rook going to get into play? Okay, you tell me. It looks like white's going to have to give up a couple of pawns to do it. And hey, look, we got the rook out, but this is absolutely hopeless for white. Okay, thanks for watching. I'll bring up another game in a moment.